Here we go.
Hey, welcome into another, well, actually, inaugural episode of Out of Bounds. Yes, Out of Bounds. We're looking at week one here in the NFL. This is your host, Todd Fox, along with the other host of the show,
Mr. Sorag, Skull Zone, Sorag. Just want to give a shout out to the platforms that we're on right now. You can find us on Twitch, Out of Bounds 22, all one word, along over there on YouTube right now. So if you're watching us, tell a friend, tell anybody, tell coworkers to check us out. We're unfiltered. We're gonna have a caller line ready, so that way we can have you guys called in. We don't look at you guys as fans. We look at you guys as number ones, because without you guys, we wouldn't have this show going. We will be on more platforms as time goes on. Hopefully, this show kicks off we have a good first year, and then next year we'll be on bigger and better plans.
exactly. And we're going to be talking about today division winners, and we're also going to get into the picks for every game. So we're going to break it down scientifically on this show here. We're going to throw our little comments too. So it's not going to be your everyday normal show. We're going to get into all the news and notes surrounding everything as well. So we're going to go division winners first, and from worst to first in our picks as we move along. So, Carlos, lead us to the divisions here.
Let's go with the AFC East first. Do you want me to go first on this one, or do you want to go first?
Let's go for it, man.
All right, in this division, we got macaroni and cheese leading the way for the New England Patriots. Then we got Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, and then we got Tua, I have no arm, Tonga Bailoa, and then we got the New York Jets that are always in the bottom, always in the top three draft picks, always searching for a quarterback, whether veteran or rookie. They can never get it together. Hopefully, they got it with Zach Wilson, but we will see. Um, in first, well, I'm gonna go worst to first. I think the worst team in the division, hands down to me, has to be the New York Giants. It just doesn't seem like that team is just like, when you think of the New York Jets, you don't think of anything that's like threatening. You just think of another team that just has a 53-man roster and a whole bunch of coaches that are just happy to be there in the NFL. That's like a stepping stone in the AFC. That team has no chance of making the playoffs. You look at the whole entire AFC picture, the whole entire landscape of all the teams in the AFC, and the New York Jets are one of the worst teams in the whole entire NFL. So I'll put them in number 4. I don't care who they have on their roster; it doesn't matter. They're about like 4 or 5 years away from even contending in the playoffs. Sorry to all you New York Jet fans. I don't know why you guys imagine being excited for football season and you got to look forward to New York Jets football. I don't. It just doesn't sit right for me. So the New York Jets for me are going to be in 4th place. And then in 3rd place, I'm going to go ahead and put the New England Patriots in 3rd. To me, it just seems like the New England Patriots are just a team that just constantly just keeps doing the same thing over and over. They never make no splashy moves. Everybody always credits how good Bill Belichick is, and I'm with them. But at the same time, you can't do the same moves on chess or checkers and not get caught up. Look what happened last year. The Buffalo Bills made enough improvements and passed them up, and they smoked them. And I'll go with the New England Patriots because they're just in cruise control. Like, they just feel like they're just unstoppable with the same old game plan every single year. It's going to catch up to them this year. They're going to fall off big time. And with 2nd place, I'll go with Miami. I'll go with the Dolphins. I think every position in that on that whole entire on that offense and defense, they've got it set. Other than Tua Tagovailoa, but if he doesn't get it done, we got Teddy Bridgewater to look forward to. So I'll put Miami in number 2, New England number 3, Miami number 2, and Buffalo number 1.
All right, I like those picks right now, but I have to disagree with you on some of it, man. And I know Matthew McWilliams is on watching on YouTube.
Oh, what's up, Matt?
Yeah, I have to tell you guys though, I'm not feeling the same way you guys are feeling about the Miami Dolphins. Yes, they made strides last year, but Tua Tagovailoa, he can't throw, man. He has a noodle arm. And you brought up yesterday when we were talking before the show that Teddy Two Gloves Bridgewater is up there. And I have a feeling that with those weapons that he's never had before, which you mentioned too, that he's going to actually take over that starting job at some point. It's been clear that that organization is not completely sold on Tua. And I think at some point it's going to be Bridgewater's team to lose. And, he played pretty good. A lot of people forget with Carolina last year, but had some offensive line problems. I don't think that's going to be the case here in Miami. But I still think they're going to finish 4th. And you know what? I have to disagree with you again on the Patriots. I do think they're going to get some stuff done this year. I think they're going to make some waves. And I don't think they're going to finish third place. I actually think the Jets are. I think Zach Wilson's going to make some strides. I think the offense will be better. But they're about a year away. They've drafted really good. They made some really nice trades. The Seahawks have helped them out with that one trade for Adams. So they've recouped some really good players. I just feel that the MILF killer this year is gonna he's gonna be able to hit on a lot of moms in the stands and other players' mothers, but he's not gonna hit the end zone as much as we thought. But I still think the Jets will be decent. They may have a shot at the wild card, but I'm gonna pick the Patriots and experience with Mac Jones to get the job done with that heavy run offense and then some occasional really good defense because their defense, no matter what, under Belichick has been really good. It's never been the defense that's been the problem. It's been the offense. So I got the Patriots finishing second. And then the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. We all saw that game last year where they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in one of the most epic playoff games of all time. Such a great game. I thought that they were robbed on especially on that kickoff. Had they did the kickoff right, they probably beat the Chiefs straight up. But in in all actuality, it wasn't Josh Allen's fault. That offense is intense. The defense is going to be really good. And I think once the weather starts to change over in Buffalo, New York, I think the Bills are going to take their rightful claim at that AFC East title once again.
Yeah, and one quick shout out to James Cook, younger brother of Dalvin Cook. He's with the Buffalo Bills now. He might be that missing point for Buffalo to finally win the Super Bowl. Because if you look at the Buffalo Bills, since Josh Allen has turned the corner and he's turned into an elite quarterback, he's never had a running game. He's been a running back, so I don't think he's going to get as many fantasy football points for anybody out there that's looking for fantasy tips. He's not going to be the same as he was last year because now they got three running backs that are all going to be fighting for that starting job, and I think James Cook is going to be the starter by the end of the year. James Cook is going to be a hot pick. Pick him up in fantasy football. Make sure that you do yourself a favor. He's not going to be the starter right away, but about week 3 or week 4, he'll be the solid starter. I'll pick James Cook up. I got him in 2 of my 4 fantasy teams.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Next division, let's move on to the AFC North. We got the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll let you go first on this one.
All right, first off, Matthew McWilliams says, hey, with your Seattle quarterback situation, I bet you would take two in a heartbeat. And yes, you're right. I would.
You would?
I would. Compared to what we got, man, come on. I'd take anybody right now.
Who do you guys got over there? You guys got Drew Lock and you guys got Geno Smith.
Yeah, so we got nobody. So that's the problem. Thank you, Pete Carroll.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, he's got a massive ego, bro. I can't stand him anymore. He needs to go. Anyway, let's move on to the AFC North Division, and I'm gonna calls it like I sees it. And you know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers have a quarterback issue themselves. I don't like Trubisky. You call him Turdbitsky.
Turd biscuit. Turd
biscuit. Okay,
you know, a hot biscuit out of the oven. He's a hot turd that just came out of a butthole.
Any way you want to paint that butthole turd biscuit, it's still brown in the inside, even if you color it rainbow, and it still sucks. So I'll tell you one thing. Steelers are in for a long year offensively. Defensively, Mike Tomlin always has them straight up playing good. So I'm not worried about the Steelers' defense. That'll keep them in games, but I feel that they're going to finish 4th place. And then as looking forward to 3rd place this year is going to be a surprise pick by me. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. And you say, why Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson? You know, they're so dynamic. You got the coaching staff that's great. You got the defense that's always solid. Whatever, this and that. But I look at it this way, man. I think Lamar Jackson's due for a freaking injury, and I hate saying that. But playing in that AFC North division, and he just doesn't know how to run out of bounds. He got injured a little bit for the first time last year. I think he hasn't learned anything. You still can beat the Ravens by forcing them to throw, so I don't trust their throwing offense. So I got them falling back to 3. And despite Cleveland not having Mr. Tickled Butthole for 11 weeks, I still think Cleveland has enough weapons on offense and defense to stay above Baltimore in 2nd place. And then I also got the defending AFC champions should reign high in that division and win that division straight up. I love that team being so young but getting that Super Bowl experience. Now I know there's a curse on teams that go, that don't make the playoffs the next year after a Super Bowl, but it was broken the year before. and I think that the Bengals are going to be strong enough to at least make it to the postseason. How far, I don't know.
Those are pretty good picks. Those are pretty good picks. Respectable. For me, I'm gonna go with worst to first. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh going in fourth place. I like everything you said about Pittsburgh. I agree with everything minus the defense. If you really think about it, the defense will be hot and sharp and ready to go. But for how long? If the offense can't generate movement or nothing like that, the defense is going to constantly be on the field and they're going to get worn out. Injuries are going to happen, and eventually everything's going to fall apart in Pittsburgh. And they're going to be looking at the quarterbacks coming out of college this upcoming year. Because remember, they drafted a quarterback. What's his name? Kenny Pickett.
Yes,
Cody Pickett, Kenny Pickett. They drafted him, but if he doesn't work out this year, because Mitchell Trubisky, he's not long term. Everybody knows that Mitchell Trubisky's not long term. Pittsburgh's going to be number 4. They're going to look at the quarterbacks coming out of college if Pickett doesn't work out. And I just see them, like I said, as a giant mess this year. Mike Tomlin, he's been a really good coach for so long. I mean, one down year is not going to hurt. One or two bad years is not going to hurt him overall in the long term. He's going to be a first ballot coach in the Hall of Fame. Everybody knows that. If you've been following football for a while, you know that he's a great coach. And then in third place, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't believe in their offense at all. I think that they've got a great tight end in Mark Andrews, but I don't know, man. I don't know if Lamar Jackson can carry the whole entire team by himself. They did not do nothing to help him out wide. They're going with Rashad Bateman. They're holding the money up away from Lamar Jackson. I don't know why they're not giving him the money. I mean, I see why they're not giving him the money because he's just one bad hit away from all that money going to waste. But at the same time, what do you have in replacements for him? You know, like you can't look at the free agency market and be like, we want this. There's nothing like that. And then unless they're going to wait this year out and then they're going to go after a quarterback, like unless they're planning to tank the season so that way they can go into the top 5, you know, that would make sense. But nobody else on that team is going to want to do that. So I got Baltimore in third place because I don't believe in their offense. Their defense might do something, it might be pretty good, but like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to get tired and injuries are going to start happening. You just can't trust the Baltimore Ravens. So Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 3, Cleveland number 2. Even with Deshaun Watson out for 11 games, look what they did with Baker Mayfield. They were right there. They've been a really good team. They got Kevin Stefanski over there from Minnesota. His second or third year. Remember, he won Coach of the Year his first year 2 years ago, and he had them against the Chiefs that year, if you remember. And they didn't have, I want to say, one of their main stars in that playoff game or something like that. Or it was the Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't have their starting quarterback, and they almost beat the Chiefs that game if it wasn't for that broken first down where that quarterback scrambled.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll go with Cleveland number 2 in second place. They got a really good, solid defense, and their offense. Jacoby Brissett, I trust him a lot more than I trust the Baltimore offense and the Pittsburgh offense. And number 1, how could you go against the Cincinnati Bengals? That's a no-brainer right there, Cincinnati. Unless something happens where Joe Burrow gets injured, I know everybody's going to go with Cincinnati winning that division outright.
I agree. Good picks right there. We'll go over these picks too once we finish up all the divisions, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm writing them down. If anybody's wondering why I keep looking down, I'm looking at all the teams and I'm keeping track of me and you. I'm writing everything down so that way I don't lose track of anything. The next division is the AFC South, and this division speaks volumes to me in my eyes. I'm gonna try and not be a Debbie Downer on this division, and I'm gonna just call it for what I see it. I'm gonna just be flat out. I'm gonna be blunt with you guys on this one. This division has no purpose of even being in the NFL this year. I think the Crimson Tide, we should switch 4 college teams for this whole entire division. Outside of like maybe 2 or 3 players in the Colts and the Titans, that whole entire division could just go to the side. Like it should just go to like NFL Europe should just go. They should just all go over there to NFL Europe. But with that aside, I'm gonna be absolutely unbiased with this one because I have no interest in this division at all. I'm gonna go with fourth place. I'll go with Houston. Third place, I'll go with the Jaguars. Okay. And then second place, I'll go with the Titans. And the Colts, I'll go with first. This is Matt Ryan. I've never liked Matt Ryan. Even when Matt Ryan was when he was in line for like MVP after MVP, the way people look at Kirk Cousins, that's the way I look at Matt Ryan. I just don't have no interest in anything in this division, man. I'm just calling how I see it, man. Houston 4, Jaguars 3, Titans 2, Colts 1.
Okay, I like that. We'll get into some comments here too in a second here. Dana's checking in with Cincinnati just needs to hold on. Let me pop this up here full screen. Cincinnati just needs to get a line, protect Burrows. They are still solid. Pittsburgh is going to find a way to. They always win. Ravens have a team, but anything. But the Browns have a solid team with Watson. I don't see them doing much when he gets back. Matthew McWilliams says Tua over Vikings quarterback. Randy
Get out of
Josh.
here, man. You're crazy. You know you would give up like 5 first-round picks for a quarterback like Kirk Cousins now.
And Randy Yaz is checking in with "Let's Go Jets, baby." He's the one that designed our logo, by the way.
Mm.
So shout out to Randy as he's
Hey
also.
Randy, look, we're using your logo. We're using your logo everywhere. If you add me on Facebook and you follow Skull Zone, I'm putting your fucking logo everywhere, bro. I love your ideas. I love everything you did with this whole entire logo.
Yeah, he's sick, dude. You should see what he does for our baseball page. He's like one of the
Hey,
best parts of our page, man.
have him drop his link so that way people can hit him up on so that way they can start like tell him like this is what I would like that. It could be like his little business move right there. Tell him that to drop his link.
Absolutely, he's been doing this for years, so he's a professional.
We got
But
to start. I'll start putting his link out. I'll start putting his link out if he wants to send it to Skull Zone. I'll start posting it on my page.
okay, and then also we talked about his Jets, so he just missed it earlier, but we're gonna revisit that, and we'll let him know. So he's gonna have something to say. He's a huge, and I mean huge Jets fan. So.
Man, I
Uh,
respect everything about the logo, but why? Why the Jets, man? I don't get it. Why the Jets?
he's been a long time Jets fan. He just didn't join up with him. He's been through the thick and thin. I'll tell you that right now. But
Oh yeah.
let's move on to the next. Oh no, we haven't moved
My
on.
condolences to his fandom.
See, that's messing. See, you're getting him all hyped up and happy, and now you just took a shot.
I can't help myself, man.
All right, well let's go to the AFC South and let me make my picks. First off, in last place, you're gonna take the WNBA superstar that she is, Trevor Lawrence, who's gonna take his talents from missing baskets to missing receivers. As the Jaguars will finish slightly above the Houston Texans. You thought I was going to go with them at fourth place, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, I got them finishing third. I think they're a little bit better on offense. But
These
I think the
Bills.
Texans are terrible with Lovey Smith and his Santa Claus beard, and the fact that they still don't have a decent quarterback. Their defense has been purged. They're going to be a laughing stock down there in fourth place. So Jaguars will go third place. Second place, you got to give it to the good God. Who'd you get for second place again? The Colts. Matt Ryan will make the Colts a little bit better, but he's a poor man's what do you call it?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. There you go. And I think they do a little bit better, but again, they're not going to top the Titans. The Titans still have a good running game. They still got a decent, really good defense. Actually, it's going to keep them in a lot of games. But they're really predictable, and until their guy comes through and their future quarterback, it's going to be them crapping out once again in the first or second round. So, Titans 1, Colts 2, the WNBA superstar at 3, and then the what do you call it? The fourth place Texans.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see. We're gonna go out to the AFC West. We're gonna let you take this one, Ty. We're gonna let you take this one over first.
Okay, besides the AFC East, I think the AFC West is one of the most fun divisions to watch. I think it's going to be incredibly, for me as a Seahawks fan and my team looking really shitty this year. I'm going to be giving some of my attention to that AFC West. So every time they play, like here in Week 1, Raiders and Chargers, those two games last year were epic, and it was really hilarious to see the Chargers blow it last year in the last week of the season. But I think what you're going to have this year is a super highly competitive division. Now, some people are going to think that I'm a bitter Seahawks fan for what I'm about to say, but I don't think the Broncos are going to finish any higher than the Seahawks will in the NFC West. I think they're going to finish fourth because Denver's already suffered a couple key injuries with a wide receiver and a running back that they just drafted that were supposed to be big parts of their offense going out with ACL injuries. The offensive line, yes, is better than the Seahawks. I'll give them that. But the receivers are very inexperienced. The defense had gotten really old. They're trying to replenish the players. I don't think the Broncos are as good as people think. So Russell Wilson may have some growing pains this season. And in a division that competitive, I just don't see the Broncos getting above fourth place. So I put the Broncos 4. I got the Raiders, who are going to be better, but Captain Eyeliner, their quarterback, is going to cost them a couple games with stupid decisions, overthrows, interceptions, and occasional fumbles. And as good as that Raiders defense is, They get into a lot of trouble, so look for the over/under of 3 arrests during the regular season. Look for the Raiders to also finish in third. Second place, a surprise. Pat Mahomes is going to finally be dethroned as AFC West leader. I think the Chiefs fall back to second place because I love what the Chargers have done in the offseason, drafting the way that they were right there. Their quarterback play is phenomenal. A healthy Eckler is going to be huge for them. The receivers stay healthy. I don't think this is Air Coryell 2022. I really like the Chargers to win that division.
That's not bad. That's not a bad. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that feel the same way, minus the Broncos. I think there is a lot of hype going on with the Broncos. Not too much. I mean, you can't blame them. You don't get a quarterback like Russell Wilson in the draft every year. I mean, the Vikings have done that in the past. Trust me, I know we give up a bunch of first round picks if we could get Russell Wilson. He's owned the Minnesota Vikings since he's been drafted. So he's definitely a quarterback that's definitely worth all that money, everything that he's been given. He's definitely a franchise type quarterback. Is he going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer? We'll see. But with that, I'm going to jump into my picks in the division, the AFC West. This one's going to be a crazy one. This one, right now, things could change in a hurry because that division is going to be so competitive. But for right now, let's go with the picks. In fourth place, I'm going to go with, believe it or not, I'm going to go with the Chiefs going in fourth place.
Wow, I think the Chiefs?
Their defense is dog shit. They have a whole bunch of journeyman wide receivers. They don't have a running. They just got. Imagine if Patrick Mahomes gets injured. If Patrick Mahomes, I look at teams, the way I judge them is like their strength. If you take their strength away and you like completely take that strength away, they're like if they're a completely vulnerable team, they're garbage. Like you can only ask Pat Mahomes to do so much, and he doesn't have a running game. He's got Jared McKinnon, he's got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, come on, man, this is garbage. He's got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's got who else? Juju Smith. I don't buy the Chiefs this year. I think that the Chiefs are going to be in fourth place this year.
Okay.
Their defense is just straight hot garbage shit. They're just straight dog shit. And if they do make the playoffs, that's going to be one and done. That's going to be one and done. I don't buy the Chiefs. You guys can say Mahomes, Kelsey, this and that, but I just don't see it. The defense is going to be a huge letdown. It was already hot shit last year. Third place, I'm going to go with. I'll go with. Let me see, who did I put down? I'll go with. It's kind of a coin flip. I'm going to go with Denver. I'm going to go with Denver in third place.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Denver in third place. I think that they did make improvements, but it's just like, do you really put all your chips in the center of the table for the Denver Broncos? I mean, they can make some noise, but I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. It's always like the Denver Broncos are kind of like that team where you kind of want to believe in them, but they like kind of let you down most of the times. I just don't believe it, man. Their defense might be solid. Their defense is always solid. But I'm gonna go with Denver. I'm gonna go with Kansas City number 4, fourth place. I'll go Denver third place. I'll go with Las Vegas Raiders. I'll go with them second place. They've improved. Their offense is going to be really, really good. Like if you put Pat Mahomes in the Vegas Raider offense, in the Las Vegas Raider offense, with that defense that they're doing, what they're doing over there in Vegas, then that would be the best team in the entire NFL. Just think about it. He's got Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, and I'm pretty sure they got another wide receiver out there that's pretty good too. The only question that I've got is who's going to be the running back because Josh Jacobs, they didn't re-sign him. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. So after this year, he's going to be a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
And then first place, I mean, Justin Herbert. How could you go away from Justin Herbert? He's got the offense, his defense. They added pieces here and there to that defense, and not just like pieces that you can ignore. Khalil Mack, and now they got Bosa. But if Bosa can stay healthy, they're going to be pretty good. Quarterbacks are going to be solid. The whole entire Chargers team is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Chargers and Herbert and that team. I think eventually, it's a hot take, but I think the Chargers started slow, and despite the Rams buying that Super Bowl, I think the Chargers are going to be more popular than the Rams will be this year. That's a hot take. I'm just saying. Real quick on comments on there, and I like those picks, by the way. The Chiefs one is really what was it called, out there but kind of risky move. That's like your bold prediction, but I like that, man. That's what we do. Dana says, Skull is an Eagles fan deep down, so he's taking a shot at you. And
why would I want to cry every day for a whole year?
And don't worry about that. Randy's taking a shot at me. He's all, Geno Smith, baby. Gonna take you all the way, Todd. Shut up, man. Freaking Randy, always busting my balls with that. He also said they might win 8 games this year, the Jets, and have a chance to get into the
Man,
postseason.
optimism is at a high right now for all fan bases, huh?
Yeah, sure is. Unless you're a Jaguars fan, then you realize you have a female at quarterback and you have no chance. Um,
Hey, hold on, no, I can't. I should. I'm not gonna say what's really on my mind because no, I can't. I can't say what's really on my mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
all right, well let's go. Let's go to the next division then, because we've just covered the entire AFC, right?
Yeah, we just covered the entire AFC. We'll go over those. I'll be able to snap right by them. I'll be able to go real quick on them. But let's jump into Dana's division. Let's go into the NFC East. You want to go first, or do you want me to go first on this one?
Let's see. You went first, or I went first on the last one, so this is your turn.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm gonna go with the New York Giants representing themselves in the basement like they have been for a while now. Daniel Jones. I mean, how many chances does this guy get? This guy's not that good. I mean, he wasn't that good when he. How long ago did Eli Manning retire, and he still hasn't gotten it together? He's got. I want to say another coach, another offensive coordinator. The Giants are probably going to tank on purpose. They're going to probably put out some weak offensive linemen, so that way they can get in line for a franchise quarterback in this upcoming draft. Don't be surprised if the Giants tank on purpose.
Well, real quick, if I can interrupt, I think Daniel Jones's career can be summed up on one play. You remember that run that he should have had a 90-yard touchdown and he tripped and
Yeah,
fell?
that was on Thursday Night Football. I remember that.
Yeah, that's
That was
pretty.
I think against the Eagles. Dana was that against the? I think that was against the Eagles. Dana let us know if it was against the Eagles.
Yeah, he tripped on his own. I think that's his career in a nutshell. And the funny thing is, they've drafted 3 offensive linemen in the last 3 years, and they still don't have an offensive line.
Yeah, the Giants are just an absolute joke, man. Like it's so hard to imagine that you playing in like I want to say the biggest city in the entire world, if not the like top 3 biggest cities, and you put out that man. Like you gotta do something, man. Hopefully they get it together. And I'm dead wrong on this because I like when the Giants are good. They're like when the Giants are good, they're really really good.
Yeah, that's true.
But until I see difference, man, until I see otherwise, I'm not changing. I'm not budging on the New York Giants, man. I see them fourth place basement, and then I'll go with the Washington. Ready for it? Commanders. I'll go with them in third place.
Okay.
I mean, they if Carson Wentz can play anything, I know I'm gonna sound like the media does. If he can play anything like he did his rookie year, which probably won't happen, then Washington's got themselves a quarterback for like the next 5 to 6 years. But I just don't see that happening. The running back is kind of like he's been fumbling. He's been having a bad offseason, training camp, preseason. He's been just fumbling. And then the rookie running back, who knows how long he's gonna be out? Because remember, he just got shot at, and he just got shot like bullets went penetrating him and all that. So he's going to be out for who knows how long. So they're going to rely on your old boy J.D. McKissick, I want to say his name is,
Oh,
as
jeez.
a running back. He's been pretty solid for them, but he's not like a starter that's going to be like every single game. He's going to be a starter. They're eventually going to have to move on from him. So I'll go Washington. Their defense, I mean, the pressure is going to be really good, but their offense can. Same thing like with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore. How the defense is eventually going to get tired, injuries, and I just see Washington being in third place. And then this is where it really actually matters. In the NFC East between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, who do you trust more? Do you trust the defense of the Eagles is going to bring it every single game? You cannot deny it. They've like loaded up completely on that whole entire roster. The Eagles remind me of the Miami Dolphins. And as a matter of fact, they are like the Miami Dolphins because if you think about it, they got an Alabama quarterback. They got Jalen Hurts, who was Alabama, and then Tua Tagovailoa, who's from Alabama as well. They're like mere images, bro. They're so close together. It's just like if one of those quarterbacks breaks through, forget about it. They're going to be a danger. They're going to be a dangerous threat to everybody. And in a year where the AFC is so loaded and the NFC is not so powerful, if the Eagles break through and Jalen Hurts gets it together, they'll be the number 1 seed easily.
I agree.
But I'll go with man, and then the Dallas Cowboys. If their defense can repeat what they did last year, I can see them. I can see them winning that division. Yeah, I'll go with the Eagles in second place, and then I'll go with the Cowboys in third or in first place. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, that division, like I said, Daniel Jones running the football, and by the way, as move 777 on YouTube says, I don't know, but for some reason I feel like the Chargers are already passing the Rams in popularity. Um, the NFC East, I look at it this way. I got the fourth place team as the Washington Woke. I think the Woke team will lose a
Come
lot
on,
more than
Todd.
they'll win. and
Come on.
they're not going to be able to score much on offense, like you said. Carson Wentz will be hurt about 4 or 5 times. They're just going to be, look, that stadium's falling apart. That team's been falling apart. Daniel Snyder is most likely the Artie Moreno of football, and he's going to be forced to sell that team here pretty soon. The Wokeness will have a new owner, and hopefully they can find a better name because Commanders is even more bullshit than woke. The Redskins, I mean, come on, more white people were offended than actual Native Americans of that. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Too many liberals. So I think the woke will finish fourth. Third place will be the New York Giants, who are not as giant as they think they are. I think the Jets surpassed them as far as wins this year easily. I think the Giants are just due for, like you said, I've never been sold on Daniel Jones. I think he was overrated from the get-go. And also, they've never put a good wide receiver core with him, never gave him any offensive weapons. Defense has always looked good. And then I'm with you on the Eagles. I think they're going to be very dangerous. They'll pop up and probably beat a few teams that they're not supposed to. Jalen Hurts is getting a little bit better every year. Their defense is super solid. Their special teams is good. So they will be in a lot of football games, but I just don't think they have enough with all of Dallas's talent. And I hate to say that because they always brag about their former Super Bowl titles
Yeah.
and how good they are and everything else like that. But Dallas has a legit good team this year, and the key will be for them: can Dak stay completely healthy? If he stays completely healthy, and they get anything out of Elliott, that team will likely win at least about 11 to 12 games.
Not only that, what you just said, man, but you also, I just thought about it too. They just lost an offensive lineman. It's one of their big pieces on the offensive line. He's out for the year. I think he tore like an ACL or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like that's a question for every team. Though injuries are gonna happen. It's just a matter of next man up. They have somebody that's gonna come in and play as good, if not like better. So it's going to be interesting to see if Dallas, because the pressure's on Dallas. If Philadelphia wins the division, that's going to be big time for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to show you that like they're picking up momentum and they're ready to take it to the next level. But right now, it's on the Dallas Cowboys. If the Dallas Cowboys don't win it, if they don't win the Super Bowl, like all their delusional ass fans that everybody loves so much, and they claim that that's America's team. It's like the same thing every single year. Like we hear the same story. I remember back in 2009 when the Minnesota Vikings were underdogs, when we had Brett Favre, Sidney Rice, Percy Harvin, we had Bernard Berry. I could go on with the whole entire roster, but Minnesota was an underdog, and what did we do? Like I heard it that a whole entire week that Dallas was going to smash Minnesota and all this and that. This is our year. We them boys and all this and that. And what ended up happening? Minnesota ended up putting up 34 to Dallas's 3.
Yep,
So
yep.
I'm a bit sick and tired of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I can be considered a hater, but I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys. I don't know why you guys repeat this. It's like you just hear repeat. It's like it's hearing the same song every single day, every single year. We them boys feed Zeke and all this and that. Why don't you just let the teams play? Just be like a regular fan, like be a fan of the team and all that. You don't have to brag about everything that they do. That shit gets annoying as fuck.
That is true. That is
That's the
true.
only. That's why I hate the Cowboys, man. There's Cowboy fans that I like, but the whole entire fan base as a whole, I can't stand them.
Well, it is a thing with certain fan bases. You got the Niners like that, the Cowboys like that,
Yeah,
the Patriots are like that and it seems like any team that Tom Brady's on is the same thing. So it's just something you got to deal with. Fans are going to be fans. It is what it is, but for the most part, it's just we'll see what happens, man. I'm along the lines of I've seen this song and dance like you have long enough. They got to prove it
yeah.
to me in the postseason. Right now, I don't see it. Matthew McWilliams checks in with Todd always dissing my teams, and they prove him wrong every year. So he's throwing that out there.
Didn't
Dana,
you call the Miami Dolphins the paper champs a long time ago?
yeah, exactly.
They always have a good team. I remember that. That was years ago too.
Yeah, I've been consistent with the Dolphins. But have I been wrong? They only have one playoff win since Marino retired. So
Do you know what year that was?
92.
That's the last playoff win that they've had.
That's the last playoff win that they've had.
Jesus, man.
And that was with Jay Fiedler.
That's before Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown and all that, huh?
Yep, that sure
AJ,
is.
I remember you used to call him AJ Touchy Feely.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that. They had Jay Fiedler and then they had AJ Touchy Feely.
They had Patrick Sertain, all those good corners
They
and
had a
stuff.
good. They had a Zach Thomas. They had Patrick Sertan. They had Jason Taylor. They had a really good defense, man. They've always had a very very good defense, but it's always been their offense.
Yep. Dana checks in with Dallas. I really hate to say this. Number one, it's killing me. Eagles 2, Giants 3, and the Woke 4.
But you know what though, Dana? Like you got to look at it like that. Even if you guys come in second place, the NFC is not power. It's not powerhouse. That's going to be wild card. You guys will be in the wild card. You got that should be a wild card right there because it's 7 teams. And remember, the pressure's on Dallas. If they don't get the job done and you guys get the division, that you guys, I'm telling you, you guys win a division. That's going to be like you guys are ready for that next level. Jalen Hurts will get it together. If you guys, it's all on Jalen Hurts, bro. And look, you guys are already like number two without full trust in Jalen Hurts. Imagine if Jalen Hurts actually puts it together, you guys will be dominating.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's going to
So
be the
that's not bad. I would say the same thing too if I was you, man, because that's all pressure on Dallas and none on you guys. Because Dallas is expected to win. All the pressure falls on Jalen Hurts. He might fold. So it's good to be in second place right there because you just never know how the season's going to turn out.
exactly. So what do we got next besides the NFC East?
We've got the NFC South.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you jump in on this one.
Okay, and so we got the Carolina Panthers, the New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm forgetting one other team.
New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay.
Oh, Atlanta. That's why. That's why I forget Atlanta because they pretty much purged that team. They got a nice stadium down there. They got Marcus Mariota as your number one. So they copied Seattle and they were like, let's get a retread backup quarterback and make him our number one after losing our number one quarterback and not replacing him. And believing that we can win. Well, believe all you want, just like we're going to believe with those action green jerseys on Monday night. We're going to lose, and so are you guys going to lose Atlanta week one as well. Marcus Mariota and the Falcons are going to suck. They're going to be in fourth place. I picked the third place team in that division to be the Carolina Panthers, although they'll be better than expected. I think they're going to make some inroads, but it all comes down to McCaffrey staying healthy.
What
I
about
think,
Baker?
well, yeah, Baker's going to make that team a lot better. I think we missed out on getting Baker Mayfield, and I'll tell you why later on. But I think Baker Mayfield would have made a difference. Is going to make a difference with Carolina. I think they're going to do really good. And but I don't think good enough because the surprise, even though he did it the last time he was a full-time starter, Jameis Winston, he threw 30 picks or whatever. I believe he's going to be a little bit more accurate because he didn't steal any shrimp this year, so he doesn't have that butter all over his fingers. And I think he's going to play much better with New Orleans, and
that butter.
they're going to win some games with that stifling defense. And in a loud stadium in New Orleans, they're going to get second. And then Tom Brady's going to be kissing his son after every touchdown with guacamole ice cream on his lips. And Giselle won't be in the stands. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, at 45 years old, Tom Brady, will still have enough weapons to win that division, which is a very winnable. It's just like the Cowboys. It's a division to where, unless a catastrophic injury happens to Tom Brady, just like if it were to happen to Dak, there's no reason why the Cowboys shouldn't win the East. No reason why the Bucks shouldn't win the South.
Hey man, it's pretty good takes right there, pretty good. But I'm not going to agree with you on all those picks.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to go with. I'll give you Atlanta in fourth place. I'll say Atlanta's going to be in fourth place. I just Marcus Mariota, I just don't see it, man. They don't even have a true running back. They got Cordero Patterson as the running back. They Calvin Ridley, he's suspended for the whole year for gambling. And then they got a rookie wide receiver from USC, Kenyon. No, not Kenyon Drake. I can't think of his name, but he's from USC. And then they got Kyle Pitts. And outside of that, what do you got in Atlanta? It's just like I don't trust them. Like I don't trust Baltimore. So I'll go ahead and put Atlanta as the number 4. They'll be in the basement. I'll put Carolina at number 3, even with Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is an upgrade from Sam Darnold because who isn't an upgrade from Sam Darnold from Big Head? Dude, I knew that Sam Darnold was going to be garbage. Like when I see highlights, when I was like, why is he going to go in the top 3 or whatever? Why? Can anybody explain why Sam Darnold got the hype that he had? Was it just that bad of a quarterback year in the draft, or what? What was the deal?
I think we should ask Randy about that because that was his boy.
Yeah, Randy, why did the Jets go with Sam Darnold, bro? Like you can't just. I mean, the eye test. Like when you see something and you know it's garbage, it's not gonna change. It's like almost like dressing a pig up. You can't fucking dress a pig up and think it's gonna be different. It's still a pig, as it's always been. It's just Sam Darnold, bro. Like I don't know. I like Zach Wilson a lot better than Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold, I think, he doesn't belong in the NFL, bro. Like he's He maybe as a backup, as a journeyman. He's like a Sean Mannion type of quarterback. So I'll go with Carolina number 3, and then I'll go with Tampa Bay at number 2. I'll
Oh,
go with Tampa Bay number 2 and New Orleans number 1. I think New Orleans, dude. If you look at it, man, everybody expectations are different than reality. If you go based on the previous year, then you don't get stories like the Cincinnati Bengals coming from out of nowhere and making it to the Super Bowl. You can't expect Tom Brady. I mean, you could expect it, and it would be smart if money was on the line to bet with Tom Brady. But man, honestly, realistically, there's got to be a point where Tom Brady just stops being Tom Brady. He retired for a reason, and he got away. He didn't want to. I think the reason that he stayed away for like 40 days is because he didn't want to. He didn't want to be a part of like football. He wanted to get away from it for a little bit. He's already brought up the idea of retirement. He's 45 years old, and and then against New Orleans, he struggles in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he owns the Saints. But in the regular season, that's when I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Saints. I think their defense is extremely good. They're really really good. They've got all it's going to come down to is Jameis Winston protecting the ball. They've got Kamara, and then they've got Michael Thomas coming back from injury. They got Chris Olave from Ohio State, and then they've got Jarvis Landry. And I don't know who they're tight. They put what's his name Taysom Hill as a tight end. So I mean, he's got some skills. He's like, what do they call him? The jack of all trades, that pocket knife that has all the tools and all that. I forget, Swiss Army knife or whatever. That's what they call him. So I'll go with New Orleans 1. I'll go with Tampa Bay number 2, Carolina 3, and Atlanta 4.
now back in the day, O.J. Simpson had the biggest head of any football player. He had like a size 9 almost. I
Who
think
did it?
O.J. Simpson,
Okay.
but I think Sam Darnold has like a size 12. That head is enormous, dude. He's got
Dude,
like
man, Sam Darnold, he looks like a quarterback from the 80s, bro. He just looks like he just doesn't belong in the NFL, man. He just, it's like cringeworthy. He just like annoys me when I think about him. Like when I start thinking of that retarded ass smile that he has and that stupid ass red hair that he has, I'm just like, how is he a quarterback? He
I've
hasn't done anything.
I've been under the assumption since day one, since I started watching quarterbacks that suck, like Billy Joe Tolliver and stuff. Any redheaded quarterback does not belong in the NFL. You can call that racist, hair racist, whatever you want to call it.
Carson Palmer was pretty good.
Yeah, but look what happened to him. I mean, he had to literally get a person who died their freaking, their tendons to restore his knee because he was so jacked up, and he had the worst luck too. I mean, he couldn't get. They didn't get to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like he kept losing the postseason, kept getting injured. So
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with anything that you just said right there until proven differently, right?
yeah, Dana says Andy Dalton saves the Saints, but
Ooh. Hey, tell Dana. Well, Dana can hear me. Tell Wiz about that one, Dana. Drop that comment in his stream later.
and he says Wentz is redheaded too. But man, we all know who won that Super Bowl for the Eagles. It damn sure wasn't Wentz.
Nick Foles, baby, man, you want to talk about the flukiest Super Bowl win ever, bro? And then after that Super Bowl, like they start putting up statues and shot. I'm gonna give you a shot, Dana. How like they built the statue of the Philly special and all that. I'm mad at the Eagles, bro. Like I'm bitter about the Eagles because they beat us when it was supposed to be our year, 45-7. I hate the Eagles as much as I hate the Saints, bro. Like I kind of secretly hate the Eagles because they took our Super Bowl away. You know, if we would have played in the Super Bowl against the Colts in 2009, and if we would have played against the Patriots in 2017, I want to say we would be a two-time Super Bowl champs, right?
He says you're always bitter. So
I hard to disagree with that one. I'm a Vikings fan, man.
well, speaking of Vikings, you get first shot at your division right now, the North.
Ooh, the NFC North. Do you want me to go first on this one?
Yeah, this is yours, baby. You take it.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we're gonna go. I already got my picks. I already know in order, dude. Let's start off with the. I might take a little bit on this one because this one I pay attention to this division a little bit more
Take
than
your
any
time.
other division.
Take your
Dude,
time.
the Chicago Bears are relying on Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields, bro. Geno Smith 2.0. Like, what are they seeing? I mean, he was good in college and all that, but he's not good in the NFL, bro. I don't know. And then they didn't even do nothing to improve the help. They've been signing wide receivers. They just signed a former Viking, Amir Smith Marset, who was like our fifth wide receiver in Minnesota. They're tied in Cole Kmet. That guy's not that good. They should just stick to running the ball, bro. They should just be like the Baltimore Ravens. Justin Fields is not that quarterback that's going to get them anywhere. Justin Fields is a solid bust. He's going to be a journeyman before you know it. That's the one team that I got in fourth place right there. I don't believe in anything that the Chicago Bears got going on. Nothing at all, bro. They might beat us with it. We always struggle in Chicago. Like there's like if we got Chicago in week 17, week 18, whatever the last week of the season is, we're gonna lose to them. It's just I don't know what it is about the Chicago Bears. We lose to them. We always split with them. It's rare when one team takes both games in the season. It's just rare. But I hate the Bears the most, so I'm putting them in fourth. And then, this one's gonna be good. This one's gonna be juicy, as juicy as Aaron Rodgers is an
Uh-oh.
acid. I'm putting the Green Bay Packers in third place, baby. I think that Aaron Rodgers, their defense is gonna be okay, but I don't think their defense is gonna take them all the way. It's gonna come down to Aaron Rodgers and what wide receiver he falling in love with this year. You're hearing talks about Sammy Watkins doing damage. I don't believe in Sammy Watkins. I didn't like him in Buffalo. I didn't like him in Baltimore. I didn't like him in Kansas City, and I definitely damn sure don't like him in Green Bay. They got two rookie wide receivers. Aaron Rodgers, it took him a long time to develop Devontae Adams. I don't know how many people out there follow the Green Bay Packers, maybe some Packer diehards right here that are watching, if any of them are watching. But Devontae Adams, it took him like 3 or 4 full seasons for him to finally get it going. Aaron Rodgers I remember his rookie season, Aaron Rodgers kept throwing to him, and Devontae Adams just kept dropping everything. And then eventually something clicked where Devontae Adams finally turned it on. But I don't see Aaron Rodgers having the patience to work with these unproven receivers. Come on, dude. He's got Randall Cobb. He's got Christian Watson, the rookie. He's got another rookie wide receiver, Dobbs. He's got Sammy Watkins. Like, come on, bro. These are all like journeymen. Like, if you take same thing with the Chiefs. If you take Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers away from that whole entire from their teams, those teams are 3-win teams at best. I don't buy into Green Bay anymore. I think that their time at the top of the NFC North is over, bro. I got Chicago third. Chicago fourth, Green Bay third, and then I got Detroit in second place. I think Detroit's getting it together, man. Do I think that they can give us a run for our money? I absolutely do think that Detroit is ready to make that run. It's just gonna matter. It's just gonna come down to Jared Goff, man, because I don't know what it is about the Detroit Lions, but they slowly but surely they've been like slowly turning the corner, bro. Like if you notice with the Detroit Lions, they always start the season off like when they have good years or decent years, they always start off like 4-2 or so, and then they completely fall off until like the
Mhm.
last part of the season, and then they'll win like three straight. If they can do that the whole entire season, they'll be pretty good. They've got enough wide receivers. Their defense is okay. I mean, they are a threat to take North this year because Green Bay, you don't know what their wide receivers are going to be, and then Robert Tonyan, I don't know. They got Aaron Jones, and then they got AJ Dillon. And then Aaron Rodgers. Outside of that, I don't buy into anything Green Bay. And then of course, number one, how can you go wrong with Captain Kirk, baby? How can you go wrong with the purple Kool-Aid? Yes, I do got my purple shades on right now. I am full of purple right now. It's all about the Vikings this year, and the pressure is on with us. Last year, if you look at the numbers, Minnesota, we lost the most one-score games in the entire league. Our defense was ranked damn near dead last and everything. Our offense was competing with everybody for the last 2 years. It's been like that. And now this year, if Kevin O'Connell can get it together and we can put our defense in a much better position to make stops and all that, then we're gonna be okay. I got us winning the whole entire NFC North. I got us winning the North, baby. So
Okay.
there it is right there. I got Chicago 4, Green Bay 3, Detroit 2, and Minnesota 1.
Okay. I'm gonna defer on that one. I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. I'm actually gonna do it as predictable as it is, cause look, I look at it this way from an outsider's view, and I get it. Like I've had those blinders on too, but I've seen the NFC North play out like this. Usually, it only flip flops at the top with the Packers and Vikings first or second every now and then, but usually the Packers reign supreme. The Bears will sneak up for a year, and then they fall apart for five. But it always goes like this, and I'm gonna stick to it until they prove me different. Jackoff will take the Detroit Lions to 5 to 6 wins again. They're gonna be lousy, make a lot of stupid turnovers, be the butt of a lot of jokes, and their coach will get fired mid-season. Here we go again with the Ford family. Then third place will be the Chicago Bears because you have an Ohio State quarterback, which Ohio State quarterbacks suck in the NFL. He's gonna prove nobody right and or prove nobody wrong. And I think the Bears will once again be the most predictable team. They have the defense to win games, but they don't have the offense or the weapons. He's got a bunch of youngsters at receiver. This is where it could flip flop, and I could be wrong, okay? But I'm just going to go with it the way I see it right now. All due respect, my boy, but I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings at 2
Oh,
because of Kirk Cousins
oh,
always making them mistakes, and the Vikings always somehow not being able to get out of their own way and lose to bad teams, but win against really good teams. Like they'll have their really good show out games, and Justin Jefferson will go off. The running game will be great, and you're like, oh man, this is a dangerous ass Vikings team. And then they'll lose like 2 out of 3 to some loser ass
yeah.
teams, and then that's just what happens. And then I'm gonna go with the druggie,
The
Aaron
hippie?
Rodgers.
You're gonna go with hippie at number one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the
He's gonna be
Packers. Packers
he's
at
gonna be
1.
high at the top, huh?
Yeah, he's going to be super high, and although I think
Man,
he's going to prove Shannon Sharp the real prick of ESPN or Fox Sports or wherever the hell he's on because he's a terrible broadcaster. Him and the other dude that loves Dallas and sucks off the Cowboys all the time.
Skip
Uh,
Bayless.
yeah, Skip Bayless. There you go. I just feel that the Packers, even without losing Adams, are still going to have enough weapons, and they're just barely going to eke out the Vikings. I think it's going to come down to the last weekend of the season. But Packers 1, Vikings 2, Bears 3, irrelevant 4.
There you go. It's respectable. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? I mean, I'm being biased. I mean, me putting Green Bay in third place. Realistically, do I believe it's going to happen? No, I'm hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that optimism. That's that optimism right there. I'm just
Absolutely.
it'd be lovely to see Green Bay just completely shattered. But we'll see how it plays out. And the last division is your division. Go ahead.
Okay, well then uh, I'm going to go with my last place to first, and this is going to hurt because the NFC West has been one of the more, competitive divisions. It will be competitive again this year, but I think you're going to have a couple fallbacks, of course, uh, what is it called? I think the Seahawks finished fourth. That you can't tell me that Drew Lock is better than Russell Wilson. You can't tell me Geno Smith is better than Russell Wilson. You can't tell me that those two quarterbacks together make one Russell Wilson because they don't. So what it's going to come down to is an inexperienced offensive line, which is getting better. Weapons on the outside with Lockett and Metcalf, and a good, decent running game. The defense is super young. They're getting better, but they lost Wagner. We've lost everyone else that was attributed to any kind of winning season, and we still don't have much of a pass rush. So you're going to put a lot of pressure on an inexperienced defense. I look for this team to win 3 or 4 games. We're going to be shooting hopefully for the
Wow.
first round pick. And it all comes down to the arrogance of Pete Carroll not wanting to get away from the shotgun offense. If he could have switched up to a pro set, to a West Coast offense, you could have got a Baker Mayfield. You could have, in reality, if it was hypothetically done, if the Niners had cut Jimmy G, he would have fit that style of offense. That's why he's not fitting with the 49ers, because Jimmy G's not that run pass option quarterback, and they want to go with, for some reason, get away from a guy who has a win percentage as good as Jimmy G does. So I think the Niners are stupid right there. And for that very reason, I got the Niners finishing third place with Trey Lance. He sucks donkey balls. And although San Francisco is the birthplace of monkeypox, I think their monkeypox offense is going to rise to the occasion this year and help them finish third place. Their defense will keep them in games. It's the same old story. But I think Santa Clara, which is their real city that they play in, will finish third place. And then the Arizona Cardinals with.
Really quick, before you go on to the Cardinals,
Mhm.
how is monkeypox spread?
There's only one type that can spread that, and the only way a female gets it is if they partake with one of those genders. So there you go. The other thing I want to say is second place, Kyler Murray is going to be doing it for all the little people. He's going to be doing it for all those little ones that are following the yellow brick road and, looking up at everybody. They're going to look at Kyler Murray and be like, if that 4-foot dwarf or midget can do it, I can do it as well. But unfortunately, if you can't see over the offensive line, you tend to make a lot of turnovers. He had that in his contract that he has to study for 4 hours a week because he doesn't study at all. That should tell you something. And the only reason why that midget will have the Cardinals in second place is because the Niners and Seahawks will be so bad. And so the Niners are going to, the Cardinals will take their lumps, but they're going to take advantage of a poor Seahawks and a poor 49ers team. and they're going to get to second place. Although the Rams will be the daddy of the Cardinals and the rest of that division. I hate saying it, but they're locked and loaded again for another year. Stan Kroenke, the owner, has paid off the league once again. Somehow, some way, they were supposed to be in salary cap hell last year. They got out of it. Somehow, they were supposed to be in salary cap hell this year. Somehow, they got out of it. They picked up Bobby Wagner and a bunch of other guys. So they're playing for another one that instead of just 6,000 fans showing up at the parade, they're trying to get 8,000 fans. You know, the Bengals had more fans at their Super Bowl loss when their return on the flight home. They had about 40,000 fans there. Nobody cares about the Rams here in Los Angeles.
Who had more fans, the LA Rams Super Bowl championship parade or the WNBA championship parade?
Well, by far, there's still the Rams. I mean, the Rams, just with that poor attendance for their Super Bowl win, probably outdid any parade before them in the 26-year history of the horse racing. So, but that's my division. I got my poor Hawks in fourth, Niners in third, and the Midgets in second, and the LA Rams take over at one.
You said 26 years of horse racing.
It's the battle to have the most chin hair by all the WNBA players.
The battle of layups?
Yeah, the battle of missed layups.
Jeez, man. All right, man. Let's get to my picks. So I got you listed down. I got you written down as your Seahawks in fourth place. You got the Cardinal. You got the 49ers in third place. Cardinals in second, and then the Rams in first.
Yes.
All right, let's get to my picks. I agree with you on fourth place. My opinion towards the Seahawks is no different than you. I mean, the only thing I will say about the Seahawks is two things, and then I'll move away from them. Pete Carroll, I think his time in Seattle needs to come to a conclusion. I think that he just needs to retire. He's getting up there in age, and he just needs to just get away from football. He just needs to, he's done enough. He's got enough. His resume is really, really good. I don't know if he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but yeah, he just needs to get away from it. I think the sport has passed him by. And then your quarterback situation, I think you guys should have went with Drew Lock over Geno Smith. Drew Lock, I think, might be slightly better than Geno Smith, but you never know. They might go back and forth between Drew Lock and Geno Smith throughout the whole entire season. But I agree with you. I think they're going to be one of the – I hate saying it because you're a Seahawks fan and all that. But I feel like they can be probably the worst team this year. And I think DK Metcalf, if it happens, might want to get traded. And for Seattle, you pick up a first-round pick for DK Metcalf along with the first-round pick that you guys are going to have on your own. Why not, right?
But they didn't do that. That's why I'm pissed off. So
you want DK Metcalf to get traded from Seattle?
I did at first because I wanted them to get if we were going to tear down and rebuild, let's go all the way. But he thinks that we're going to compete and win like 9 or 10 games. I'm like, that's where I think you're right. The game passed him by because that's not going to happen with those two quarterbacks.
Yeah, he just needs to retire, man. You guys got to get it like somebody like Minnesota. Like we held on to Mike Zimmer like 1 or 2 years too long, and then the game just passes people by. We need somebody younger, and we got somebody younger. We got Kevin O'Connell over there in Minnesota, and he's fluid. He can speak the language. He's hip with TikTok and all that. He fits the today's NFL. But yeah, I got Seattle in fourth place. Third place, I'm gonna go with Arizona. I don't think Arizona has enough in the tank for them to be this explosive offense. They've got Marquise Brown, and then they got DeAndre Hopkins. Then they got Kyler Murray. It sounds good on paper, and then like you see their highlights and all that. But what always happens with the Cardinals, and then you got that the head coach that's only out to model in front of the cameras, always wearing the shades. He's wearing his shades indoors. He looks like a goofball, doesn't he?
He sure does. Him and McVay do get more camera time than the actual football players.
Yeah, I do agree. That guy should not be in the NFL as a head coach. I think he should be an assistant and work his way up. He was a loser in college. But, Kyler Murray, you got to make the diva. I think he's the biggest diva quarterback in the NFL. I don't like Kyler Murray too much. I think that his antics, I used to like him before he started lashing out on social media. I just lost all respect for players like that. Like, keep it indoors, like you got so many fans that look up to you and all that, and then you're just going to put all the team business out there. So what's really going on? Everybody knows what's really going on. Arizona's not going to really do too much because as soon as something goes wrong, Kyler Murray's going to start throwing a temper tantrum, even though he's getting paid a lot of money and all that. He already threw a temper tantrum with that little clause that the Cardinals threw in him, like you were just talking about doing his homework. Like, how can he get mad about that? Like, the truth hurts, and that's why he started lashing out against the team. Like, well, it is what it is. I got the Cardinals in third place. Second place, I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams going to second place because I think that the 49ers, they outside of Jimmy Garoppolo making a switch, the team has stayed the same. Like you look at the 49ers, they've stayed the same where the Rams, they lost Odell Beckham Jr. and then like they got Cooper Kupp and all that, but it's just like you really I don't know. I don't know. I'm just speaking from a far out. I like the 49ers had kind of owned the Rams, and the 49ers were about to beat the Rams in a game for if it wasn't for a few plays. Jalen Ramsey, for whatever reason, struggles. It's like the 49ers just know how to beat that style of play. You know, the 49ers, you know it because you pay attention to that division. The 49ers just got their number. Even with Jimmy Garoppolo, bro, like Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, like everything that you said is 100% true. But you got to look at it like this. They invested so much in that young quarterback where now if you just leave him on the bench, he's going to go to waste. And even if he is a bad quarterback, at least you put him out there on the field to see what he was like, you know?
Well, the only reason why too they held on to Jimmy G is they were scared Seattle was going to get him, but I don't think that would have happened because Pete Carroll's ego was too big to change the offense. So, I agree with you absolutely all the way.
Yeah, but I mean, look at it like that. And if Kittle stays healthy, Kittle's always injured. Kittle
Mm.
is always injured. Their running game, they rely on their running backs. So, I mean, the RPO fits. It fits perfect. Like, the 49ers could be really, really good. Debo Samuel, you could run reverses with him. Like, what did you always used to call Colin Kaepernick? A gimmick. Like, the 49ers run the best gimmick offense in the NFL. Like, they're really good at doing that stuff. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Trey Lance, he fits the mold. He fits what the 49ers are looking for. He might be better than overall in the long run. But we're
But
that,
I have
huh?
yet to see him throw accurate though. That's the thing. That's the reason why. If he was an accurate quarterback, I'd say they'd be a dangerous team. He's got the wheels, but once you shut down the run, you got nothing else really. He's not. I don't even think he's good as Kaepernick was at passing, and I don't like Kaepernick. So
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Just the 49ers and their defense. You also got to look at their defense. They got a whole bunch of no-name players that always make plays, man. Like they're just a stout defense. They always have a stout defense. Even
no
on their
doubt.
bad years, they're always good. They're
Mm-hmm.
always good. So I mean, as long as what you call it, Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, because they're gonna go back and forth throughout the season. As long as they can hold it together, they'll be okay. I got the 49ers winning the division.
All right.
So I've got Seattle 4, Arizona 3, LA Rams 2, and San Francisco 1.
Cool, cool. And if you want to talk, just go down the list real quick what we picked. Before you do that, Dana says, "Look at you looking like Barney with all that purple on," but he still
So
goes with Minnesota winning the division, Green Bay 2, Lions 3, Bears 4.
that's what you picked.
That's what he picked. Yeah.
I appreciate it, Dana. I appreciate it. Even though we're gonna smash on the Eagles week 2 Monday Night Football.
Let's do a real quick recap and then get into a real quick prediction about our teams coming up here for week 1.
All right, we'll start it backwards this time around. We'll go from the NFC West. We'll go. We agreed Seattle was going to be number 4. Um, you put San Francisco in number 3. I put Arizona in number 3. You put. Let me see where are you at. You put